Hey guys, it's Dom here, and today I'm back with making another one of my own custom card videos of things that I've designed myself, and the theme that I'll be going for today are cards that reveal your opponent's hand. As there's only two real cards in the game which properly do this, rather than just being other different effects, and because of this I thought I'd see what other cards I could make for it, and I'd like to see your opinions on them. So without further ado, we'll get into the first card, which is for intelligence, and it's the Sigic Mystic, a 2-cost 0/2 that at the end of your turn will reveal a random card from both players' hands. Also, this card will gain 1 power for each card in your opponent's hand that has been revealed. So this card's actually not that strong because it won't have any power whatsoever unless your opponent's hand's got things revealed, and then your opponent might just be able to play whatever's been revealed. So it does have that kind of negative. It's also revealing what's in your hand, which is a bit of a drawback, but then also has a bit of synergy with some other later cards I'll be showing. And it's just kind of that kind of bit of cost, letting your opponent know what you've got. But then again, even if they know what you have, they might plan around it, but sometimes it's just inevitable, and it's going to be stuff that, they won't be able to stop. And the fact that you'll still be able to see what your opponent's got in their hand as reveal is quite a very interesting it's an interesting design where you can see your opponent's hand, but there's nothing really much you can do about it initially. It does kind of lead to some different play styles just to kind of work around what your opponent's got, so I think something like this could be quite interesting. Next we have Sleight of Hand. This is a 1-cost action which I'm considering, or was considering, making a 2 or 3 cost because it is quite strong. And this will be reveal up to 2 cards in your hand, shuffle them into your deck and draw back that many cards, and it's got Empower plus 1 card. So this will be, for instance, if you say hit your opponent once to get the Empower to go up, you'll be able to reveal up to 3 cards in your hand, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw that same number again. So basically, if you manage to hit your opponent 7 times, you could then basically mulligan a full hand. And that's the idea of this card. It's meant to be that you're kind of redrawing what you've got instead of being used as something which will be as draw power. It's getting rid of cards that you don't want, but also telling your opponent what kind of deck you're running. So for instance, you might just mulligan in a few really high cost vampire cards in your deck, and from that your opponent can probably work out that you're running some sort of Midnight Burial Vampire Resurrection deck. So there is a slight kind of negative towards it, but nothing too direct. Also, don't ask why the guy's got a cowboy hat, it's just a cool bit of concept art. Anyway, the next card we'll move on to is the Arcane Crook. So this is basically someone mage handing some coin purses off people. And this is a 4-cost 2/4, which when summoned, I apologise, I forgot to write summon before that. Summon, choose a revealed creature in your opponent's hand, discard it. So this is something which is, in a certain situation, very, very good. Because it works like a bit better than Hallowed Death Priest, in a way. Because Hallowed Death Priest will just grab your opponent's strongest unit and transform it into a mummy. While this, you have to actually be able to see a creature in your opponent's hand through some of this reveal synergy. And with that, you can then just discard the card straight up so they lose a card in their hand. And it's very strong, but it's not too strong for the sake, or mainly because there's not too many cards in the game which are revealing cards into your hand, or revealing your opponent's hand, and that, the cards that I'm designing here are pretty much the main focuses in the game which would be able to do this. So it does mean if you do get the occasional lucky scenario, you can just throw out a card in your opponent's hand and mess up their game plan. And if they've kind of created the card, usually it will mean that it's not too close to synergy. So next we have the Thieves Guild Shadowfoot, a 6-cost 4/5, who when summoned will reveal a random creature in your opponent's hand, and you can summon a 1/1 copy in the other lane of that card. So basically, for instance, you might reveal General Tullius. Let's say you get really lucky. You get General Tullius in your opponent's hand. A 1/1 copy of that will be shot into the other lane, and then his summon ability will go off and a lot of crazy things will happen. And whenever this card pilfers, it will reveal a card in your opponent's hand. See, I was kind of tempted to make this one a legendary because the effect is very strong, or maybe even a unique legendary, but then again, I don't know, it's quite a high cost card, and reveal cards that I've designed won't have the strongest of effects, so I thought something like this could be quite nice. And as it's like gaining intel on your opponent's units, and as this card's meant to be a thief, it kind of relates back to each other, because you're not stealing the card completely from them, but you're stealing a copy of it. Kind of, it's almost like you're switching out their card for a replica. That's the kind of metaphorical analysis I'd use for it, to be in fancy terms. But yeah, just another kind of good card for revealing a few cards that your opponent has and gaining a bit more intel. So next we have the Tavern Eavesdroppers, an assassin card which is free, 2/2, and when this card is summoned it will reveal 2 cards in your opponent's hand, and for every creature you reveal, gain +1/+1. So if this card reveals 2 creatures, it will instantly go up to a free cost 4/4, and then if, say, you summon your Shadowfoot, start pilfering with that, and it starts to reveal more creatures, this card will keep on getting buffed by +1/+1. But again, as there aren't too many cards that will be constantly revealing things, this isn't too strong, except actually maybe, now that I think about it, the unique legendary of the set's probably going to be the thing that makes this a bit powerful. But yeah, no, this is just kind of a nice card which sort of works alongside and slightly starts to snowball the more that you play into the strategy. If you're wondering what the other types are, the other type is Nord and Breton, because I just thought old wizard man on the left could be a Breton, one in the middle could be a wood elf, and the one on the right could be a Nord. So this card kind of goes under 3 different race categories as well, meaning that it could be run in certain decks which are trying to run only one race, but then again, as Assassin is mainly Dark Elf, it's been a bit hindered there. Right, so next we have the action and kind of form of removal for this archetype, and I've gone with Assassination Contract. So this is a 4-cost card for Assassin, which will damage a unit by the cost of a revealed card that you get to choose in either player's hand, and if this manages to slay, you get given a completed contract. So I was tempted to make this a free cost, but then I thought it could be quite powerful, especially if you manage to like instantly reveal Odavine or something like that, as then this card would be ridiculously strong. But it is one of these ones where you do need to set up the correct scenario to actually get value off this card, because if there's nothing that's been revealed, it's a brick. If you've only got 0 cost cards revealed, it's again completely useless, and if it's only got 3 cost or less cards revealed in the game, it's not bad, but then there's just much better and cheaper options to go for in that case. And I wanted this card to kind of fit into the Dark Brotherhood theme, just because we've got some sort of revealing assassin themes, and it's just the kind of way of, oh, you've been given this contract which gives you intel on a card, you then use that intel to kind of deal some damage and stuff. But anyway, after that weird waffle, we'll move on to this set's unique legendary, and that is the Bannered Mare, a 4-cost unique legendary and a neutral support which is ongoing. And basically this will just mean that both players will play the game with their hands revealed. Whenever either player draws a card, that card will be revealed. When this card is destroyed, it will stop revealing new cards, but cards that are already revealed will not kind of just flip over again. I was tempted to make this a bit higher cost, but then I realised as this isn't actually doing anything other than just giving you information, and it's purely made for synergy, then it kind of would seem a bit worthless if it was just, you know, oh yeah, you play this at, like, say a 7 cost for instance, and then you're not doing anything that turn because you've just done all of that. I thought having it a bit lower means that no matter when you draw it, whether it's early game, you can kind of start seeing things early and work out what your opponent's doing and see how you need to react and play differently, or it could just be played late game and then give you a few more options with synergy of the other cards from this collection that you could kind of work with. And the concept art's quite nice as well, so I had to throw that in. But that's all the cards I have for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I haven't done one of these custom card videos that I've actually made myself in a while, just because I haven't had any ideas. But if you have enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.